Imagine a handbag so perfect that experts can't tell it's fake, yet it's being used like a bank account. In 2024, companies scanning resale inventory reported nearly $2 billion in total resale value examined, and single-digit percentages of those items flagged as counterfeit. That math points to millions, maybe hundreds of millions, slipping through as legitimate value. How do criminals turn a near-perfect fake into a billion-dollar hiding place? Stay with me. Welcome to Wealth Forensics. Today, we're tracing a shadow supply chain. Manufacture, fake provenance and serials, resale platforms and auction houses, appraisal inflation, and cashing out. I'll walk through public reporting and industry data, Entrupy's state of the fake, Europol seizures, auction litigation, and platform policy gaps, and show the weak links exploited by bad actors. This is educational, based on public sources and industry research. It is not legal or investigative advice. If you suspect criminal activity, contact law enforcement or qualified counsel. First, what are superfakes and why do they matter? The industry calls them superfakes, AAA, or line-for-line copies. These aren't the obvious knockoffs. They're made with near identical materials and patterns, sometimes even the same leathers, hardware, and stitching techniques. Detecting them can require scientific analysis or advanced AI imaging. Entrupy's State of the Fake reports that in 2024, they scanned resale inventory approaching $1.9 billion in value and found a fake rate around 8.4%. That's a small percentage, but massive dollar exposure, roughly $160 million of identified problematic goods in one data set alone. And that's just one company's scans. Superfakes can pass casual or even expert visual inspection, which makes them useful as bearer assets. You can hold them, ship them across borders, and sell them again. The physical object becomes a way to move value. The question is how to turn that object into clean money. Next, the paper trail. Certificates, invoices, exhibition histories, those make an item look authentic. In the art world, organized rings have produced forged certificates, fake exhibition listings, and doctored provenance to launder forgeries into legitimate markets. Europol investigations in recent years seized thousands of counterfeit artworks with estimated economic damage in the hundreds of millions. The same techniques apply to luxury goods. A convincing backstory removes suspicion. Bad actors manufacture certificates, falsify serial numbers, and invent chains of previous owners. Staged photos, plausible receipts, and invented dealer histories make automated checks and casual buyers say, "Looks legit." Some auction houses and private dealers historically relied on reputation and expert attestation rather than forensic checks, creating gaps that can be exploited. High-profile disputes and reporting show that provenance can be unreliable. Placement matters. Online resale platforms and peer-to-peer sites are ideal friction points. They allow staged photo sets, flexible descriptions, and rapid listing turnover. Sellers can doctor photos, craft stories, and use multiple accounts to simulate buyer interest and positive feedback. Auction houses can be targeted too. Private sales, cross-jurisdiction consignments, and anonymous intermediaries can hide origin. The playbook is familiar from art fraud: consign, get it authenticated by sympathetic or negligent parties, and sell. Sometimes a buyback is staged later to reset or inflate value, creating a resale history that looks clean. Platforms are updating policies and partnering with third-party authenticators, but enforcement is uneven. That inconsistency is the gap criminals exploit. Now the financial mechanics. Common laundering tactics include over or under invoicing, staged consignments, buybacks at auction, and cross-border consignments to obscure origin. A simple scenario. A superfake is consigned to an auction through a sympathetic intermediary and sells for a high price. A partner or shell buyer purchases it and later sells it privately at an inflated price. Each sale creates a new layer of legitimacy and a paper trail showing escalating value. Buybacks are especially powerful because auctions are public events that reset an item's market price. With intermediaries, a manufactured sale can turn illicit proceeds into what appears to be legitimate art or luxury trade profits. Appraisals and valuations are subjective, and that subjectivity is the exploitation point. Without independent forensic checks, inflated valuations can stick. Defensive technology is evolving. Entrupy and other providers use AI image analysis and microscopic material fingerprinting. Forensic labs use XRF, FTIR, and other material analyses. Some auction houses pilot AI and X-ray workflows. Regulators are looking at digital product passports, cryptographic, traceable records of an item's life cycle, which could begin affecting luxury goods within a few years. But technology creates a cat-and-mouse dynamic. As authentication tools improve, counterfeiters adapt by improving materials, falsifying serials more convincingly, and using social engineering to build credible digital and documentary trails that bypass automated checks. Independent, peer-reviewed validation of AI authenticators is still limited, so vendor claims often go unverified. Operational and policy gaps keep the pipeline porous. There's no single global standard for authentication. Platforms vary. Some integrate third-party authenticators, others rely on seller ratings. Auction houses differ in how deeply they check provenance. Smaller marketplaces lack resources for forensic workflows, and big houses balance speed, confidentiality, and legal exposure. Criminals route goods through weaker nodes, smaller platforms, cross-border consignments, or private sales to exploit this patchwork. Real case patterns and red flags from reporting include overly perfect provenance, provenance that depends on dubious intermediaries, rapid relisting and feedback manipulation, consignments routed through jurisdictions with weak disclosure, and appraisals that jump dramatically between sales without independent forensic confirmation. Entrupy's brand share reporting shows concentration. Louis Vuitton accounted for roughly a third of authentication volume in recent reporting. Popular, high-demand brands naturally attract attention because they concentrate value and have active secondary markets. Combining high-grade physical fakes with credible fake paperwork and staged marketplace activity creates a near-perfect conduit for moving value. It's not dramatic heists. It's patience, paperwork, and exploiting trust. Looking ahead, broader adoption of digital product passports, mandatory provenance disclosure in regulated jurisdictions, integrated platform authentication workflows, independent validation of AI tools, and better resource allocation for forensic vetting can help. But it will remain a battle of adaptation, improved defenses, and smarter adversaries. If you want a deeper case study next time, I'll analyze how auction houses and private resellers get duped step by step with court documents and timelines. For now, remember, superfakes are often indistinguishable visually from originals and frequently paired with forged provenance. The pipeline runs manufacture, fake paperwork, manipulated marketplace placement, appraisal, inflation, and cashing out. Public scans and seizures show the scale. Defenders are deploying AI, material fingerprinting, and digital passports, but enforcement, standards, and independent validation remain fragmented. This explains public reports and industry research for educational purposes only. It is not legal or investigative advice. If you suspect criminal activity, contact law enforcement or qualified counsel. Thank you for listening. Stay curious and stay skeptical because in the luxury market, appearances still lie.